Hello there. Yesterday, Skywars received an update about matchmaking, and a lot of people seem to think that this is a negative change and that they already notice it. So today I'm going to be telling you all about how the current matchmaking system works and why it's a good thing for you. Firstly, I should talk about the previous system which was implemented on Tuesday, which at first put high stars against high stars and significantly increased queue times. You should know that this system was changed throughout the time that you could play with it, so by the time it was removed, it had a broken queue system, but you could still fight low star players. The reason for this increased queue time was because of Hypixel trying to move Skywars to a newer queue system, which ultimately failed. Only a day later and they added it back and it worked as it should have, but they firstly added it back without telling us. Considering that nobody noticed it means it was a good addition. If you can't notice a difference when skill or star based matchmaking is implemented, then it's safe to say it's a good change. The changes were added as soft matchmaking, meaning there's no hard limit on stars, and in fact the only changes will be noticed for very new players, about 20% of the player base, not necessarily low star players, but players who are new to the network. The reason for this is that a lot of the time, a new player's first impressions can greatly affect whether they will play a certain game mode ever again. Previously, there was a good chance that they would be thrown into a much more sweaty game, giving them not the best impression, but by giving new players a chance to play with other new players, it means their first impression will be better, which leads to more long-term player counts for Skywars. So why do people have a problem with this? I think the entire problem leads to Placebo. They implemented the changes about 11 hours before the forum post was made, and only after the forum post people started complaining. People likely think that they now only queue high stars because of the matchmaking changes, but this is just wrong. Your games might be very slightly sweatier, but chances are it has absolutely nothing to do with matchmaking. Last night when the forum post dropped, just before it was the Easter update, which generally has the effect of more sweaty players trying to get their wins and look at the new things added. There are also some misconceptions about the problems which this new update will bring. One being that the new player's experience will be ruined by B-hoppers, as the B-hopper accounts are new to the network and fall within that category. I can tell you now that the last 6 months has seen a drastic change in hacker bans. Chances are they held off on doing this update until they got hold of the B-hopper problem, and now B-hoppers are typically banned within a few games at peak times. Not to mention that the amount of new players will greatly outweigh the amount of B-hoppers, meaning that the chance of going against a B-hopper is quite low. Another potential problem is more sweaty games. Firstly, the sweatier games are going to happen with time anyways. People will improve and people will want to win more, but a lot of people seem to overlook that these changes might have the opposite effect. Instead of sweatier games, long term it could lead to less sweatier games because of the new player base, which is still learning the game. A lot of people seem to compare Skywars to games like Call of Duty and Fortnite, where matchmaking was not properly implemented and it was implemented in a different fashion, which ruined the game. Do not compare these games with Skywars, it's an unfair comparison. Compare it to something like Bedwars, where a very similar system is already in place and it works very well. This update will be great for most players. As a grinder, it means I won't have to spend much time waiting for compasses due to campers and more people will come to mid. In my session earlier today, I got higher kill games and a 19 win streak very easily. If anything, especially for grinding, this makes your life much easier. If you like quick games, then the game just got even quicker. If you like XP, then you'll generally get better heads and more corrupted games. In summary, Skywars matchmaking makes life a lot easier for most players. Records will still be broken, and if you can't really deal with the so-called sweaty games, then either get better at the game or quit. Your games will only be affected by your own thinking, so don't limit yourself. Don't blame your death on matchmaking, it's never going to be the reason you die. That's about it for today. After I wrote the script, Polyphase posted his forum post and we basically made the same points, so if you want to read a bit more in-depth version, go to that forum post. I won't be uploading for a week or two while I work on getting to 100 stars and creating the 100 star video. It will be a good one, so stay tuned, but follow me on Twitch and have a good day.